To the government, we do not exist. For ghosts, we are very real. And we get things done.
Pray.
What's up, my movie lifers? It's your boy SOS back again with another movie review here with Movies Raised Us. You know how we do. I'm here alone this time. My brother S Dot's not with me, but he will be on the next one. So we gotta pour some out for the homie. This time I'm with an exclusive. I was at the world premiere of Mile 22. Action flicks, my genre. It's my favorite. So anytime there's an action movie coming out, I'm trying to get to see that joint way ahead of time. This was directed by Peter Berg, starring Mark Wahlberg, Lauren Cohen, the legend John Malkovich. We got Ronda Rousey in this joint, and the main reason I wanted to go see it, Iko Uwais from the Raid Redemption and the Raid 2. If you have not seen those, as soon as this is over, run out to your local Blockbuster and rent them joints. If you ain't got a Blockbuster, find a way. In fact, I'll just say buy them. Go on Amazon and just buy them. They're that dope if you're into action. This one is about a covert elite team that do black ops, completely off the radar. If they are caught or something happens, they can be completely disavowed by the government, and they have to escort Iko to an airplane. And he has something that they need, but he said he's not gonna give it to him until they escort him safely. And the whole movie is about what happens on their way to the plane. In this, man, off the bat, I think this is right up director Peter Berg's alley. This is his fourth film, I think it is, with Mark Wahlberg. They did A Lone Survivor, Patriot Day, and what was that? Deepwater Horizon. So all three of those are based on real stories. This one's a fictional, but Peter Berg is big into military, law enforcement. He's even got some docs, and it's all about that. So this is right up his alley, except for this is fictional versus most of the stuff's been nonfiction. And him and Mark are super comfortable. Like I said, it's about their fourth film together. Laura Cohen, I only know her from The Walking Dead and Batman v Superman. If you know her from somewhere else, I mean, I didn't IMDb her, but I recognize her from those two things. Ronda Rousey, this is like her third actual movie, so she's trying to expand her chops, as she now has the deal with WWE, and so she's trying to get her acting chops up. John Malkovich is a legend, so we already know what he does. So this is probably like the second time you get to see Iko Uwais in like an American movie. The first time I remember seeing was in Star Wars, and they wasted him. He got eaten by some CGI monster. So usually, when you have these really proficient, really good martial artists from international films, they come to American movies and they don't really utilize them, the way that they usually do in their home market. So I was really curious to see how well his action scenes were, how well they choreographed them, and if they really used him to his full potential. We've had guys like Donnie Yen, who's come and done American movies. Like he was in Blade 2, and he did a couple of kicks and then they kill him off. You know what I mean? So usually they just don't utilize, the really good martial artists from other countries in American movies that well. I'm happy to say he had, two really solid scenes. The one they show a major part of in the trailer, where he's climbing up the window and he's in the medical room. So that's one of them, and there's another one. So this movie overall felt like a bunch of different movies kind of put together, and that's where it lost me. I liked a lot of what they did in pieces, but as an overall movie, I was a little let down. Like I said, I'm an action guy, so I'm looking for high action. I'm looking for action to move your story along, and they try to mix it up. Even the characters themselves feel very familiar. Mark Wahlberg's character, to me, is very similar to Ben Affleck's character in The Accountant, where he's got mental disorder. He doesn't have autism, but some sort of mental disorder where he does puzzle. They even show in the trailer the whole puzzle pieces and the focusing thing, and they show you where he snaps the band. He has all these little idiosyncrasies that remind me a lot of Ben Affleck's character, except for I actually thought the development and Ben himself pulled that kind of character off. Highly intelligent, with some sort of disorder. Ronda Rousey's Ronda Rousey. She hasn't really expanded her repertoire yet. I don't know if it's going to get any better being with WWE now, but her character's pretty standard. Lauren Cohen's character, again, she's a strong female. They kind of try to work in some family angles that I felt were unnecessary and didn't really add to the story in itself. But I think they felt like they needed some duality there within the character, and she was really the only one that kind of had that. No one else really had that. Everybody else was fairly topical. There wasn't a lot of depth to them. John Malkovich, you see him a couple of times. He's still John Malkovich like he always is. He's not quite Teddy KGB, which is my favorite role that he's ever played. But if you have a favorite role, put it in the comments, man. Let me know. I'm a big John Malkovich fan. I think he's a phenomenal legend, living legend. And then Iko, man. Iko, you get some English-speaking lines from him, and his character is actually pretty cool. It's very similar to what he was in The Raid. So his demeanor, personality type, and even just the overall purpose of his character was somewhat similar to that. So again, if you haven't seen those, check those out. To me, those are probably two of the best action movies in the last 10, 15 years. Easy, in my opinion. Easy. The story in itself, getting the prisoner from one place to the other, we've seen that in movies like 16 Blocks with Bruce Willis and Mos Def. And then Bruce Willis kind of did something similar to that again in Live Free or Die Hard. You see just bits and pieces of that in lots of movies where they have to, get the prisoner somewhere safe while a bunch of mercenaries are either trying to free them or kill them. And here they're trying to kill them and they're trying to protect them. Very similar premise. I do think the ending is a little bit different than what we normally see from a movie like this. I wouldn't give it away, and it's kind of one of those endings where there's some familiarity there, but you still wouldn't want to tell somebody the ending because you don't want to give it away. So I do think the ending is a little bit different, and they set it up kind of cool. So that's a very cool redeeming moment for the film itself. But like I said, overall it's kind of a rehash. And being an action movie, you really go into it for the action. I will say this: I don't know where Indocar is. I've never been to Indocar. But they toting AKs and ARs around and nobody paying attention. It's almost like you go to a vending machine and get an AR. Like wherever Indocar is, everybody's strapped. Everybody. Because they were just walking down the street with it tucked in the jacket, but half the gun was hanging out below the jacket. I'm like, where is this? You could just walk around with an AR just out and nobody even bats an eye. They weren't even thinking about it. They were shut, the whole streets was getting blown up. And some people were looking, but everybody was kind of like, we've seen this before. I was like, damn, Indocar is gangster. Wherever this is gangster. I thought it was tough for me growing up in South Central, but we ain't got nothing on Indocar. They hard over there. So wherever that is, I felt like I needed a gun just being in the movie theater. I will put it that way. And the pacing is good, which I like. I always like good pacing. There are these moments, where they try to develop, again, a very familiar plot line, which I didn't think required that much development. I would have liked them to get to the action more, get to it a little sooner and a little more rapidly, but they do a good job of, once it's going, the pacing is decent. You see Mark Wahlberg kind of being Mark Wahlberg for the most part from the beginning. He does well in the action moments. He's had lots of action experience. He's not a character actor, so you get Mark Wahlberg whenever you cast Mark Wahlberg.
Thank you.
In fact, I think he's gotten better more in his acting chops when it comes to comedy. His comedy timing has gained it, and I think Peter Berg, working with him quite a bit, knew that, because you can see they tried to have this snappy dialogue, and they really tried to give him these comedic moments quite regularly within what he's saying. Remind me a lot of his character in The Departed, when he was having his back and forth with some of the different characters in that movie. So it's very much that. And so they really played on that, not so much of him really developing the character that he was. He was still just Mark Wahlberg. Like I said, same for Ronda Rousey. I think Lauren Cohen probably had the most amount of dynamic range in her acting. Again, because she's dealing with the family, and then you give her some action there, which is great. And then really the thing you really want to know most is about Iko. I know being this American movie, you get American action. So there's a lot of fast cuts, a lot of close-ups. You didn't get the extension, the wide angle stuff that you would get in an Asian movie, where you really utilize the action. But I will say the two where he did do the hand-to-hand combat, they were good. They were very solid, but there was still a lot of American action cinematography in it, where it was like close, fast cuts, that kind of stuff. There were some scenes that they really, again, when I say they took from a lot of movies, his action sequences, there was literally a part where it was right out of the raid. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. If you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about when you see the moment. But there were multiple moments during the shootout parts and the hand-to-hand combat parts. A lot of it was taken directly from the raid. So, that was cool to see, and that they paid a little bit of respect to that. I would have liked to see more, and I would have liked to see it on a larger scale, but he wasn't the main guy, so they can only give you so much. I think for the most part, this was a movie that I was happy to be there at the premiere. The premiere was nice. Peter Berg was there, Mark Wahlberg was there, everybody was there, so the ambiance adds to it. And because I was there, I thought, maybe I might give it a little bit better score. But for me, it's the same. My score on this one is a discount ticket. I think there's enough large-scale action for you to enjoy it on a theater with the great Dolby Surround or Atmos sound on a large screen with your favorite cinema snacks. But I don't think I would rush out to necessarily see it with crowds that first weekend or even that first week. So I would say it's definitely worth a discount ticket to go check out. And when you get a chance to see it, I know it doesn't come out until the end of the week, but when you do get a chance, come back, comment, let me know what you think, and we'll definitely, have a little conversation over it. I'll check, and maybe you disagree with me. Hopefully you see something more in it that I don't see. But until then, I'll see y'all next time. Again, this is your boy SOS for Movies Raised Us, and thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, thumbs up, subscribe. We just out here doing this for fun, man. Not trying to make any money at it. We love it. We love y'all. It's family. So come back and see us again. Peace.